Circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of the heart, a network of blood vessels, and blood. Heart, which is a muscular organ, is the center of the human circulatory system. It is approximately the size of a clenched fist, weighing about 250 to 350 grams, and is located in the thoracic cavity between the lung towards the left side of the chest. The heart is enclosed within a double-walled, membranous, fluid-filled sac called pericardium. The pericardium protects the heart and serves as the lubrication system, shock absorber, and anchoring bolts. It also prevents the heart from getting overfilled with blood. The heart has four...
Okay. So, balikan natin yung na-discuss ko kaninang mga parts. So, ito yung ating right atrium. This one is your left atrium. The entire part here is your right ventricle, and this one is your left ventricle. This is your aorta, yung may tatlong butas na yan sa taas, aorta yan. And then this one is your superior vena cava, and this one is your inferior vena cava. Okay?
Two chambers. Two small upper chambers called atria, and two larger lower chambers called ventricles. The right and left atria is separated by a thin muscular wall called interatrial septum, whereas the right and left ventricles are separated by a thick wall called interventricular septum.
Okay, so itong mga words na to, interatrial, interventricular, you don't have to memorize this one, basta tandaan nyo lang septum. Okay, yan yung nag-divide ng right side at left side ng heart.
These chambers prevent oxygenated blood from mixing with deoxygenated blood, that is, oxygen-poor blood. The deoxygenated blood returns to the heart after circulating through the body. It enters the heart through the superior and inferior vena cava.
Okay, so pinakita lang dito, sabi daw niya, yung blood na merong carbon dioxide ay babalik sa heart at ang dadaanan niya is yung superior vena cava at saka yung inferior vena cava. So, ito na ngayon, yung blood na merong carbon dioxide, kaya yung color blue, saan siya unang pumasok? Sa right atrium. Okay?
Into the right atrium and passes through the right ventricle.
Okay, so after sa right atrium, ipapasa ngayon siya sa right ventricle.
The right ventricle pumps the blood into the lungs through the pulmonary arteries.
Okay, so ito lang, i-clear out ko lang. Sabi ko kanina, the arteries carry oxygenated blood o yung blood na may oxygen. Except sa nag-iisang artery na ang pangalan ay pulmonary artery kasi itong artery na to ay nagkikarry ng deoxygenated blood. Kung makikita nyo dito, galing sa right ventricle, dadaan siya ngayon dito sa pulmonary artery na nakakabit sa lungs. Okay? So, tatandaan nyo lang, lahat ng arteries, ang daladala niya ay yung oxygenated blood, except for pulmonary artery. Okay? So, wag kayong malilito.
The lungs refresh this blood with a supply of oxygen. This oxygen-rich blood...
Okay. Now, galing sa lungs, so since meron ng oxygen yon, so papasok ngayon siya dito sa left side ng heart gamit ang pulmonary vein. So kanina sabi ko lahat ng vein ang daladala ay yung deoxygenated o yung blood na may carbon dioxide. Tama ba? Except kay pulmonary vein. Kasi ang dala-dala ni pulmonary vein ay oxygenated blood. Okay? So, wag malilito. Isa lang naman to. Isang artery at saka isang vein na baliktad yung trabaho. Pulmonary artery, ang dala niya is deoxygenated blood. Tapos si pulmonary vein naman, ang dumadaan sa kanya is yung oxygenated blood galing sa lungs. So, galing sa lungs, dadaan ng pulmonary... mamaya na, anak. Okay, dadaan ng pulmonary vein. Dito papasok sa left atrium. Then from the left atrium, ipapasa kay left ventricle. Then ilalabas ngayon dito kay aorta.
From the lungs enters the left atrium and then the left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the blood through the aorta to the rest of the body.
Nakuha po ba? Raise hand ako kung nakuha niyo yung flow of blood. Ayan. Okay, good. I really like this video kasi pinapakita niya pa isa-isa yung flow ng blood. So, hindi kayo malilito kasi laging mauna sa, depende. So, basta deoxygenated blood sa right side, oxygenated blood sa left side. Tapos, mauna lagi sa atria or sa atrium bago yung ventricle. Okay?
There are 4 valves within the heart.
Okay, so ngayon, pag-uusapan natin yung valves. Ano ba itong mga valves na to? Yung mga valves sa heart natin prevents the backflow of blood. Kumbaga, para hindi babalik yung blood, parang isang way lang o isang flow lang dapat yung blood. So, dapat galing sa atria, pupunta sa ventricle, hindi babalik sa atria yung galing na sa ventricle. So, ang nag-aalaw nito para hindi mag-backflow yung blood is what we call the valves. So, we have 4 kinds of valves.
Tricuspid valve,
Okay. So, yung nasa pagitan ng right atrium at saka right ventricle is the tricuspid valve. Ito yung right atrium, ito yung right ventricle. Etong nasa pagitan niya o yung gate sa pagitan niya is the tricuspid valve.
mitral valve,
Now, nasa pagitan naman ng left atrium at saka ng left ventricle is the mitral valve or bicuspid valve. Yun yung another name niya ha, bicuspid.
pulmonary valve,
And then we have here the pulmonary valve. Ito naman yung valve na papunta sa lungs. Dito dadaan yung blood na papunta sa lungs. And then the last one is the aortic valve,
and the aortic valve.
which is, dito naman dadaan yung blood palabas ng aorta. Okay?
The tricuspid valve guards the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle. And the bicuspid or mitral valve guards the opening between the left atrium and the left ventricle. The openings of the right and left ventricles into the pulmonary artery and the aorta, respectively, are guarded by the 2 semilunar valves, the pulmonary valve and the aortic valve. These valves
So again yan, katulad nito, pulmonary. So alam niyo na kagad na papunta sa lungs yung blood na to. Aortic papunta sa different systems of the body. So ito yung 4 na valves that prevents the backflow of blood.
ensure that the blood flows only in one direction and prevents backward flow when the atria or ventricles contract. Blood vessels are a series of tubes which are attached to the heart, and blood flows through these blood vessels in our body. There are 3 types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries are the blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Veins carry blood from the organs back to the heart. In most cases, this blood is deoxygenated. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels with a thickness of only 1 cell.
Tandaan ninyo, ang capillaries is very thin. Sobrang nipis niyan. Okay? Ang laki niya is parang isang cell lang. So, kung di natin nakikita ang cell, kailangan pa natin ng microscope. Ganun siya kanipis. Okay? Mas manipis pa yan sa papel. Di ba yung nakikita niyo yung bond paper, di ba ang nipis na nun? Mas manipis pa sa manipis na bond paper. Okay? Mas manipis pa dun sa kalyo ng sa kalyo ng paa at ng kamay ninyo. Ayan.
They connect arteries and veins and enable the exchange of water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and chemical substances between blood and surrounding cells. When the heart pumps out blood,
okay, so I hope this one is clear na. The three types of blood vessels, again, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries move oxygenated blood away from the heart, except for pulmonary artery kasi ang dala-dala niya ay yung deoxygenated blood. And then veins move deoxygenated blood towards the heart, pabalik sa heart, except for pulmonary vein kasi ang dala-dala ng pulmonary vein ay yung oxygen-rich blood. Okay? And then capillaries, ito yung smallest blood vessels. Okay? So dito, papakita sa inyo yung difference ng itsura ng arteries at saka ng veins. So tingnan nyo mabuti, itong arteries, kung mapapansin nyo, makapal. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, thick ang wall ni arteries. Tapos yung opening niya is small. Maliit lang yung opening niya. Samantalang dito kay veins, mapapansin nyo, manipis ang kanyang wall and malaki ang kanyang opening. Anong reason? Bakit ganon? Kapag kasi nagpo-flow ang blood, kapag sa arteries dumadaan, this is via high pressure. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, mataas ang pressure, so kailangan makapal yung wall para hindi sumabog. Kumbaga, isipin nyo yung hose, di ba? Kapag sobrang lakas ng pressure ng tubig, tapos manipis lang yung hose mo, baka lumabas yung doon, di ba? Yung tubig doon sa hose. So, same with the arteries. Makapal siya para hindi lalabas or bubulwak yung blood. Dito naman kay veins, under low pressure lang ang movement or flow ng blood. Kaya hindi kailangan ng makapal na wall.
it is under high pressure. Therefore, the arteries which carry the blood away from the heart are equipped with thick and elastic walls to sustain this pressure. Veins collect the blood from different organs and bring it back to the heart, so that the blood they carry is not under pressure. Therefore, veins have thin walls. The wall of capillaries is one cell thick and porous, which enables materials to pass through it.
Okay, question? May question po ba? Kasi after nyan, last video na tayo. May question ba? Yes, Mission Navarro.
Ma'am, di po ako nakataas lang.
Okay. Ma'am, ano po yung sinesearch nyo para makita yung video na yan? Don't worry, ipopost. Gusto nyo ba sa YT? O sige, hanapin ko to. Nakalimutan ko na eh. Actually, nakalimutan ko na kung anong video yan. Ang ipopost ko sana, yung naka-video na. Pero kung gusto nyo sa YouTube, okay lang naman din. Tatry ko na lang hanapin ulit. Kasi ano na to eh, mga 4 years ko nang ginagamit tong video na to. Dinownload ko na siya. Para kahit wala akong internet, pwede ko siyang i-play. Ayan. Sige, tatry kong hanapin ha. Okay. So, may question po ba? Para we'll go down, we are going to discuss na the flow of blood. After neto, tapos na tayo. Okay? Wala na bang question? Okay. So, kung wala na, let's start with the flow of blood. So, paano ba nagpo-flow ang blood sa ating heart? So, dito rin, i-discuss ko din sa inyo yung parts. Okay? Kasi last na to, so dapat alam nyo na yung buong parts ng heart. Kasi kasama to sa test. Siyempre, kasama lagi sa test. Okay. So, isa-isahin natin yung parts. Pa-raise nga ako muna ng hands para makita ko lang kung sino yung nakikinig pa. Yan, tingnan natin. Kasi ilan kayo? 83 kayong nandito. So, dapat 83 yung nandyan. Ayan. O yan, bumababa na. So, 53 lang. So, may 30 na hindi masyadong nakikinig. Ayan. Sige. Okay. So, let's start. Okay. Isa sa mga quizzes ko sa inyo is to identify the parts. Okay? Sige nga, pwede kayong mag-unmute para marinig ko lang yung tamang sagot. Kahit sabay-sabay, okay lang sa akin. Okay? So, ituturo ko yung part. Sabihin nyo sa akin kung anong pangalan ng part na yon. Okay? Eto, anong pangalan nito?
Ano po, ma'am? Right
atrium po.
Very
Right
good.
atrium.
Okay, tama. Right atrium. Yung iba, kung ayaw nyo mag-unmute, try nyo lang na sumagot sa isip ninyo or bahala kayo, basta i-try nyong sumagot. Okay? And then, meron bang gustong pumasok? Ba't ganun? Ayan, may pumapasok pa. Okay, so next tayo. This part.
Left atrium po.
Okay, correct. So, left atrium. So, okay lang naman din kung atrium yung gusto nyong sabihin. Pwede naman. Okay, this part.
Left ventricle. Ay, right ventricle po, ma'am.
Okay, that is correct. This is the right ventricle. This one. Pwede rin kayo mag-type sa chat
Left
box.
ventricle po.
Left ventricle po.
Very good. Left ventricle. Oh, this one.
Septum po.
Okay, very good.
Septum po.
Correct. Okay, this one.
Superior vena cava.
Very good. This is the superior vena cava. This one.
Inferior vena cava po.
Correct. Inferior vena cava. Okay, this one. Anyone? Anong tawag natin sa part na to?
Pulmonary artery po.
Pulmonary artery po.
Very good. This is the pulmonary artery. And then this one, yung mga red dito sa sides.
Pulmonary vein po.
Very good. Wow, ang galing naman nila. So this is the pulmonary vein. Pero wait, there's more. Hindi pa tapos. Eto.
Aorta po ba? Aorta po. Aorta.
This is the aorta. And then this one, okay, so baka malito kayo. Ayan. Actually, meron din tayong dalawang klase ng aorta. Tinatawag natin yung nasa taas as the ascending aorta. Ascending, alam niyo sa math, di ba? Ascending, descending. Ayan. Ascending aorta. And then this one at the bottom is the descending aorta. Okay? So, huwag kalimutan yan. Next, hindi pa tapos. Eto.
Right ventricle.
Hindi po. Ito po, yung pinapakita ko ito, yung parang mozzarella cheese dito.
Tricuspid valve po.
Okay, correct.
Tricuspid
Tricuspid
valve.
valve. Okay. This one.
Pulmonary
Pulmonary valve po.
Very good. Pulmonary valve. This one.
Mitral valve po.
Okay,
Mitral valve.
Mitral valve po.
Bicuspid valve. And then this one, hindi masyadong
Aortic
makita.
valve.
Aortic
Very good.
Aortic valve po.
If you were able to answer everything, every part, ibig sabihin, makakuha kayo ng perfect dito sa labeling of parts. Ibig sabihin nun, naintindihan nyo yung lesson. Ibig sabihin nun, alam nyo din yung flow ng blood. Kasi ganun lang naman din yun. Okay? So, bigyan natin ang ating mga sarili ng masigabong palakpakan. Ibig sabihin, naiintindihan nyo yung lesson ko today. Okay? So, let's continue.
This is our heart. We're going to take a moment to explore the path of blood through our hearts. And as we do, we'll learn about the anatomy of the heart. Since our cardiovascular system is a circuit, meaning that the path of blood ends where it begins, we could really
Naririnig nyo ba o mahina? Umuulan pa naman.
Mahina po.
Mahina po.
Mahina po.
Saglit lang Try ko lang na... So, sana kayanin.
This is our heart. We're going to take a moment to explore the path of blood through our heart. For our class,
Ako na nga lang daw kasi masyado
first we will look
pakain.
at blood from our body enters the heart in a section called the right atrium. It enters from two locations. First we will look at is a vein called the superior vena cava. From the first quarter, that superior means above, so this vein comes into the heart from above. It carries deoxygenated blood from the upper regions of our bodies, like our heads and our arms. The second vein is the inferior vena cava.
Okay, so ito pinakita lang sa inyo Sabi niya, lahat daw ito ay, ang tawag dito sa pathway na to ay pulmonary ha, kasi nga ang involved dito is yung right side ng heart, and ang involved ay yung deoxygenated blood. So, pinapakita lang niya ulit. Actually, nahapyawan naman na natin to kanina. So, pumapasok daw yung deoxygenated blood sa right atrium. Saan siya dumadaan? Sa inferior vena cava at saka inferior vena cava.
Remember that inferior means below. So this vein comes into the right atrium from below. It carries deoxygenated blood from our lower regions of our bodies like our legs and our torso. Once the blood is collected into the right atrium, it will move through a valve called the tricuspid valve. The tricuspid valve is like a gate that is either open or closed depending on the phase of our heartbeat. When it is closed, blood is trapped in the right atrium. When it opens, blood flows past the tricuspid valve and into the right ventricle. When blood is in the right ventricle, the tricuspid valve slams shut so that the blood is trapped in there. The pulmonary valve then opens to allow that blood to flow into the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery then carries the blood to the lungs. Remember that the blood so far has no oxygen on it and instead has carbon dioxide. When the blood cells reach the lungs, they drop off the carbon dioxide to pick up oxygen.
Okay, sige. Try natin na i-type dito. So, kayo ang magsasabi sa akin, ano yung flow ng blood sa pulmonary pathway or pulmonary circuit. Sige nga, base dun sa nakita ninyo at saka kung talagang naalala nyo na siya. Okay, sige, wait lang ha. Ano yung unang dapat nating ilagay? So, blood from the body. Ano yung unang dadaanan?
Vena cava po.
Superior vena cava po. Tapos
so
inferior vena cava.
Very good. So, we have here SVC or IVC. Ano ko na kasi masyadong mahaba. SVC is superior vena cava. And then IVC, inferior vena cava. And then what's next?
Right atrium.
Very good. Right atrium. And then next?
Right ventricle.
O, dapat may madadaanan pa siya bago siya mag-right ventricle.
Tricuspid valve po.
Okay, dapat isama natin si tricuspid valve. Kasi pag wala yan si valve, wala din siya, hindi siya mapupunta dun sa susunod, which is the right, ano yung susunod? Sinabi ko na.
Right ventricle po.
Okay, very good. Right ventricle. And then after the right ventricle is?
Pulmonary valve po.
Okay, very good. Pulmonary valve or the pulmonic valve.
Pulmonary valve po.
Oo. And then next is the?
Pulmonary artery.
Okay, pulmonary artery. And then next is?
Lungs.
Very good, lungs. So kung you were able to identify, then, ibig sabihin nun, alam nyo na yung pathway ng blood. So this is your pulmonary circuit or pulmonary pathway. Okay? So tingnan naman natin ngayon yung systemic naman. So galing sa lungs.
As soon as the red blood cells are oxygenated, they will flow from the lungs through the pulmonary veins and into the left atrium. You may notice that the pulmonary veins you see here are labeled left pulmonary veins. There are also right pulmonary veins. They also carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. These are called right pulmonary veins because they enter the left atrium from the right side of the body, whereas the left pulmonary veins enter the atrium from the left side of the body. Oxygenated blood gets trapped in the left atrium until another valve opens. This valve is called the mitral valve. Blood passes the mitral valve to enter the left ventricle. Notice how thick the walls of the left ventricle are. These walls are made up of cardiac muscle, and they must be very strong because the left ventricle has the job of pumping blood through our entire bodies. When the mitral valve closes, your blood encounters yet another valve called the aortic valve. The valve opens and oxygenated blood flows into the aorta. From the aorta, the blood can flow toward the upper regions of your body, like your head and your arms, or it can flow downward. It flows downward through what we call the descending aorta. The descending aorta has arteries branching off of it that carry blood to the lower regions of your body, like your legs and your torso. So that is the route of blood through our heart.
Okay. So, tingnan naman natin kung alam ninyo yung pathway naman ng systemic circuit. So, saan tayo magsisimula?
Left pulmonary
Okay, syempre, anong klaseng blood na yun yung nasa lungs?
Oxygenated blood po.
Okay, correct. Oxygenated blood from the lungs. Saan pupunta ngayon?
Sa mitral valve po.
Pulmonary veins po.
Pulmonary veins po left.
Okay. Siyempre, sa pulmonary veins muna tayo. Remember, ang pulmonary veins natin, dalawang side. Meron tayong left pulmonary vein, saka right pulmonary vein. Okay? Kasi yung lungs din natin, dalawa. May right lang tayo, saka left lang. Okay, next. After pulmonary veins, ano susunod?
Left atrium po.
Okay, we have the
Left atrium
left
po.
atrium. And then next, papasa ngayon saan?
Mitral
Mitral
valve.
valve.
Okay, we have the
Mitral
mitral valve or bicuspid valve. And then next,
Left ventricle.
Left ventricle po.
okay, syempre kay left ventricle. And then next,
Aortic valve.
Aorta
very
valve po.
good, aortic valve. And then next,
Aorta po.
okay, very
Descending
good.
Aorta po.
Aorta,
Descending
pwede tayo
aorta. Ascending aorta po.
ascending or descending, that is correct. And then, of course, to the different parts of our body. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung nakuha nyo ito without looking at your notes or whatever, so ibig sabihin nun, nakuha nyo yung lesson about this one. So, this simply concludes our lesson about the circulatory system.